All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so like I said, it was a long day, so those drawings are the same, but they're not the same. They're actually taking two different sections of the
Yeah.
lot. And prior to me overtaking this project, I actually contacted the town, contacted engineering, contacted planning to find out what's required, what's not required. And that's where the 4-foot or the 3-foot setback came about. We're proposing retaining walls and the backyard of this property, 3 of them, and they're natural stone retaining walls. And they will not exceed 4 feet. The retaining walls are set at a maximum height of 4 feet. The reason being because the property is sloped, not severely sloped. It starts at the end of the property with which I call a not a severe but above moderate slope. Then it becomes moderate. Then it slopes again. In either case, the moderate slope, which I'm referring to, it's slightly above the 15% of slope that the town requires. So we're in generally we're about 15 to 20, maybe 20% the slope. So that's where, and the town requires 15%. The code section 322, 322-19 requires 15% slope. Above that, they consider it the environmentally sensitive area. So we were very careful not to go with this with the areas where the steep slopes are. So that's why, if you notice, the retaining walls are not all the way to the end of the property. We moved it. We put the retaining walls in the moderate areas.
Okay,
And that's it.
thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions? No. Planning?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience? Come on up, please. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Michael Giacalone, spelled Giacalone. I live at 14 Butterfly Drive, which is the block like parallel to their block. I just have some questions. Maybe I don't fully understand. Maybe I could see the plans. When I moved into my house, I was told that the area is like untouchable. It's a very environmentally sensitive land. I just want to make sure no trees are being cut down because it's kind of like aesthetically pleasing to my family. It's kind of the reason why we moved into our house. So we really like the area, and we just don't want to see any trees being cut down and big open lands like across from where we're sitting when we're having our breakfast. That's all.
Okay, thank you. No, we have some more people.
Just one more thing. Maybe they can just tell. I'm sorry to interrupt you. How many feet away from the from Butterfly Drive is this retaining wall going to be placed? That's my question. Over 50. No problem. What do you want?
All right. Sir, you want to come up? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Gary Garamone, Garramone. I live at 22 Butterfly Drive. I heard one of the questions I was going to ask is how far away from the back fence is this retaining wall? One of the other questions I have is, and I understand his position, is we live on the bottom of 2 hills. They come down this way, and the property is directly in front of it. That piece of property also is a runoff for water. If the water accumulates more than the catch basins can hold, it runs into that property. So the amount of trees that were on that property and the hill, and I'd like to ask whether the hill was 15% before it's been excavated, because the property has been excavated and trees have been removed already. But I'm very concerned that the actual street that is there on Butterfly could get undermined. The reason for the trees, and that is for erosion issues. So I'd just like to understand what that is, and I guess I got the answer for the 50-foot.
Fine. Thank you. Is there anyone else like to be heard? Come on up, please.
My name is Bill Stokes. I'm at 32 Glenwood, right next door.
Could you spell your last name, please, sir?
Stokes.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to, I was concerned about the request in the applicant's the description. And one is the water problem, the guy just addressed that was here. When it rains heavy, the water comes down from the street behind us, which is way up. And a lot of it goes on the applicant's land. And I just want to know what's going to happen with that, all that water. And the other one is I have a fence between the two properties to prevent the intrusion into my pool. And I wanted to know with the retainer wall and the alteration of the land or the land slope, is this going to make my fence too, is it going to diminish the height of my fence on top of the land of the applicant so that it won't be legal to
Right.
prevent the intrusion?
All right.
All right?
Thank you. Anyone else? Would you like to come back and answer any concerns?
I have to remember the questions. The first one is,
About tree removal.
the tree removal. We are, like I said, I did my due diligence before I started, and I stayed away over 50 feet. The beginning of the furthest wall is over 50 feet. So we maintained all the trees that are on the perimeter of the property and that entire 50 feet. So there is a tree cover that will remain. Okay, that's one item. So we're far away from anybody else's property.
Right.
Second item is the drainage. The drainage is
Drainage, water runoff.
Okay. My client's property, believe it or not, is the lowest of all the properties, so it's not going to impact anybody's fence. As a matter of fact, any water that comes, it's, he's been, the water winds up on his property. And the retaining walls, believe it or not, we addressed the drainage issues. Okay. Right now, my client, with the slope behind him, he is having issues with the water coming from uphill, coming down toward his house, and eventually it might wind up somewhere in his house. Okay, so what we did with the retaining walls is we are creating what I want to call maybe a barrier, if you will. What it does, it prevents the water from cascading down at a certain speed, and through the gravel and the drainage, it kind of leaches away into the flat area. So we are not, working with engineering, okay, we are, it was understood, and incidentally, engineering had approved us. Working with engineers, as far as retainage of water, it stays on my property, but it also does my client a tremendous favor by minimizing the cascading water, the speed of the water coming down to his property. So these barriers actually prevent the water from coming fast.
Okay.
And there's quite a bit of gravel that we're introducing, so the water is going, and also I believe we're also putting some pipes to hold the water temporarily before it leaches away. So drainage was well considered prior to us going through this. There's a third one, I believe.
I think one of the neighbors asked about excavation. Is that going to affect his fence? The height of his
Absolutely
fence?
not. absolutely not. We're not touching anything 4 feet away from the property. And so both properties, to the right and the left, incidentally, they slope this way into my client's property. So whatever we're doing, we're doing within 4 feet, within that setback, which is will give us plenty of margin not to impede on anybody's property.
Okay. I believe that was it. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close this application, please?
Second?
Moved and second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
The next case on the agenda is number 18002, Thomas Gents. The location of the property is Raphael Boulevard, the west side of Raphael Boulevard, 518 feet north of Town Line Road in Nesconset. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the minimum front yard from 40 feet to 29 feet, to reduce the minimum rear yard from 50 feet to 43 feet, for a proposed 3,357 square foot, two-story home with covered porch.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Michael Dunn, D-U-N-N. I'm the architect for Tom Gens.
And you have power of attorney?
I think I'm the applicant for the case.
I'm sorry?
I thought I was the applicant for the case. I'm Michael Dunn, the architect.
No, Thomas Gents is the applicant.
Okay.
Were-
He's not here. I could,
Weren't you here last time and you didn't have a power of attorney?
no, it was someone from my office.
Someone from your office was here, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was because it wasn't me as the
No,
architect.
you need the applicant.
Oh, man. Can I get him on the phone? So we don't have to delay it again?
No.
You have to be here.
Okay. I apologize. I thought it was for me as the
No, I
architect.
thought we made it pretty clear to your associate, you needed either the applicant or a power of attorney in the proper form.
I thought in the paperwork there was a power of attorney.
There is no power of attorney.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
So what do we do? When's the next available?
October 9th,
Okay.
all right?
Excuse me, Chairman, can I ask, can that be placed on the agenda first thing? This is my second time here because of this.
We were going to object to it, but
I'm the neighbor across the street. I was here at the last meeting when it was postponed until this time, and this is 2 hours waiting, and he doesn't have the proper, it can't be put on the first.
October 9th.
no, what she's saying,
Yeah,
could it be
it
the
has to be the
first
first
case
case first.
called, so we don't sit here all day?
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too.
You said yes?
Huh?
You said yes?
No.
Oh.
So we made it perfectly clear.
All righty.
All right,
The next case on the agenda, case number 18004, Famous Toastery, 10-2020 Jericho Turnpike, Comac. The location of the property, the south side of Jericho Turnpike, 280 feet east of Walter Court. The property is zoned CB. The applicant is requesting a variance to increase the height of a wall sign from 15 feet to 25 feet.
you got the power of attorney, right? Oh, okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Brian Burchill. I'm the store owner of Famous Toastery,
Okay.
10-2020 Jericho Turnpike, Comac, New York 11725, and I'm allowing Universal Signs to speak on my behalf.
Okay. And again,
Good
sir-
evening, guys. I'm not going to keep you too long. I'm Laverne Martin.
Okay.
Last name Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N.
And address, please, Martin?
Yes, Universal Signs,
Okay.
435 Brook Avenue, and that's in Deer Park, New York, 11729.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here to request a variance for a wall sign for Famous Toastery. They will be occupying the corner, I believe it's the east corner of the shopping center. The sign for tastefully is tastefully within the sign band, which is 21 feet 11 inches by 6 feet 6 inches. We're looking to possibly get a sign that's just a few feet bigger than what's been proposed to the board. This sign, with the storefront space is very big. There is a down the shopping center, as you can see, there's a GameStop there, which has a sign that's taller than 15 feet. So with respect, we would like to see if we can get this variance for this signage here.
Thank you.
You're doing very well there, too.
Thank you, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you.
Does anyone on the board have any questions? No? Planning?
No, thank
No?
you.
Is there anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? Can I have a motion to close the application, please?
So moved.
Second?
Moved in second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much, have a
Good
great
evening.
night.
Good evening.
Thank you very much.
The next case on the agenda, case number 18008, Brian Burke, 47 Fleetwood Road, Comac. The location of the property, the south side of Fleetwood Road, 382 feet east of Beverly Road. The property is zoned R21. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard from 75 feet to 55 feet for a proposed 364 square foot roof over patio.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Brian Burke, B-U-R-K-E. I live at 47 Fleetwood Road in Comac, New York, 11725.
Thank you.
Tonight, again, I'm here to request a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard from 75 feet to 55 feet proposed roof over a patio that's 360 square feet. The overhang is located on the rear of the house to the right. It's not in much view of my left neighbor or my right neighbor, and I have a green belt in the rear of my yard, so there's no houses back there. So tonight I'm here to request the variance for the overhang. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone on the board have any questions on this application?
No.
Planning?
No, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience like to be heard on this application? Have a motion to close the application, please?
So moved.
Second?
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good. You might want to keep this, though. Yep. Yep. And the next case on the agenda, case number 18010, David Longarello, 20 Colby Drive, Kings Park. The location of the property, the east side of Colby Drive, 661 feet north of Westwood Lane. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting variances to reduce the minimum side yard from 12 feet to 10 feet to permit an accessory structure in the required side yard for an existing 125 square foot shed.
Good evening.
Good evening. Lawrence Buscemi, 15 Vineyard Way, Mount Sinai, New York, on behalf of David Langarello, the homeowner.
You Pop? Okay, fine.
Okay, good.
I'm
evening.
sorry, one second. Did you get the name, Rick?
B as in boy, U-S-C-E-M-I.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're here tonight for a 9 by 13 shed that is 2 feet too close to the side yard, as well as being in the required front yard. It's a small structure. It's an innocuous structure that's hardly visible from the street. I've provided pictures of the shed from the street. It's mostly covered up by the fence. Looks like part of the house. It has no impact on the environment as it doesn't create runoff or anything. It's relatively minor variance, at least side yard wise. It actually is not self-imposed because this homeowner inherited this from a previous homeowner, defaulted actually in this application. He was just stuck with it. There was money held in escrow and that was it. The guy walked away.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
No, thanks.
Planning?
Thank you.
Anybody else like to be heard on this application? You have a motion to close the application, please?
So moved.
Second. Moved in second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. Good night.
Good evening. And that concludes our hearing for tonight.